Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and I am up again once more with Panalisa, and we're going to be doing this cup today. If you saw the two cards that I did yesterday, this is like part of a set, I think. So you know, this design here is matchy with the other two, and this is the larger cup with the whipped cream and the candy cane. So we're going to do this one as a shaker. Right, I'll just move that out of the way. To go along with that, obviously I'm going to need some glue. I'm going to use some of my frosting bits, and I think I'm going to use the white one, which is why I popped it out onto the top. And I'm also going to be using some of these beautiful pastely snowflakes, which are a little bit abalone, and let's see how close we can get. There you go. All sorts of pretty colours in them, also from AliExpress. And I'm also going to be using, this is a very old pot, you can tell the label is fading. It does say distressed dry glitter. It's great stuff, clear rock candy. If you want anything to look like candies, this is the stuff. Or there's another clear glitter from Moxie that I use, but I've got a little bit of this left in, so I've got it on my table. Right, putting stuff down, let's pop these up here and I'll show you the bits. Right, first of all, I've cut a piece of acetate because we're doing a shaker, and I wanted to show you this because a lot of people, they never get a perfect cut out when they run it through their machine. Now I actually ran my acetate through twice. You can see it's still connected there, but it's really easy to deal with. You just put your scissors in and then you just track the line. Sometimes you don't even need to cut. I mean, I'm cutting there, but you know, sometimes your scissors, do you see that? It's like your scissors just fall along the line. So I'm going to remove that piece of excess out of my way, and we've still got the little handle to cut out. It's not always so apparent, I don't think. Now we don't need the handle, so we just need the bowl section. There you go. So now we have our acetate window, probably covered in fluff, but never mind. And I'm just going to pop that there out of the way. Right, next up you're going to need a base, and then you're going to need your frame. So because I've got a lot of humidity, yeah, that stuff again, I've actually cut two Dollar Tree foam board frames. Now the handles weren't impacted that much by humidity, but the bodies were. They went quite thin, so I figure gluing two together will give me just the depth that I want for my shaker. So I'm going to glue those two together. I'm going to move that piece out of the way, and then you're going to need a top frame. That's the pretty bit. Let's see how close we can get. That will decorate all of it when you're done. Lovely bright sunshine here. We went to 114 yesterday. Honestly, I was dashing around in the garden with my tree stump tape. It's like white stuff, just wrapping all the trunks of my trees because I could see them really peeling badly. And the last thing you want is for your tree trunks to start splitting on you. So anyway, digressing, I've decided to do the pattern piece in pink. Yesterday's was in blue. I can tell you that when I have completed this one, all three die sets will go into my forever box because I just absolutely love them. You get two pieces of cream, you get a foundation, and you get a top layer. Now yesterday I coloured it in grey, but today I'm going to be glittering into those pieces and then using that little bit of white frosting there somewhere on the top. So I'll probably put this bit together first, and then we have our candy cane, and I've done that in pink too. It's a lovely shade of bubblegum pink. So we're going to do the frosting, so let's get that out of the way so it can be drying. Once again, please forgive my throat. So here we go, just a little bit of glue all the way around the edge. And I do want to get those bits in because I want it fasten down quite nicely. So all you need to do is match it up. I'm just picking it up towards me so that I can see, and then giving it a press. Right, so that is my frosting for my cup all stuck together. Now I need to get my glitter, and I also need a scrap of paper. So there you go, you see, I thought I was organised. I'm just going to get a scrap of paper. Okay, so let's pop that down. Just move a few things. There we go. So I've got my paper, I've got my frosting, and now into these gaps here I'm going to put some glue. I'm just wiggling it all in. And I'm going to put the cap on. Right, let's get our glue and glitter, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on there luxuriously, and then I will pat it down just to make sure that I've filled those gaps. Make sure you get plenty on so that you don't end up with glue on your fingers. So that's all absorbed. You can get a sheet of paper and press down if you want, but I don't mind being covered in glitter for the day. Right, so I was actually lifting some glue there, so I'm going to push that back down. And then I'm going to tap it off and put it back in its pot. So let's have a look. There we are, we've got our hobbledy wobbledy glittery bit going on. So that needs to dry. Right, I'm just going to pause while I stick that in the pot. Right, and because it's always on my desk, I'm going to have some diamond dust. Now remember, this stuff is glass. It is crushed glass, so I've got a few bits in there that shouldn't be in there. But never touch your eyes afterwards, always wash your hands. And I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that. So I am going to go in again over where I've done my glitter. I'm just going to pipe a little line. You can go into any bits you've missed before. I think that'll do it, because you want it to look quite, you know, naturalistic. And then I'm going to grab some of this. Now I think I've got a little bit of red glitter down there, and I'll just pick that off later. I think I've pretty much got that stuck down, and then I'm just going to shower it and press it. Make sure it's all firmly adhered. Oh, isn't it wonderful stuff? I do love this. So now we've got, let's give that a shake. All the other bits will drop off when it's dry. So now you've got it all frosted up. Isn't that nice? Ooh, I like that. Just give it a tap. Right, once again I'm going to pop that back in the bottle and I'll be back. Right, so that is all dimensionally frosted. So the next thing I want to do is put my frosting piece on. And I don't know how close I'm going to be able to get, but if you do not have these, you are really missing out. They just look so real. They are absolutely gorgeous. I've been using them for years now, and whenever I get low, I'm not low at the moment, I always go and top them up, because if you're somebody who likes to make Christmas ornaments or decorations, especially a gingerbread house, because they're so expensive to buy now. I mean, things like this just, you know, make it look like you paid an absolute fortune when you've made it yourself. So I'm hoping that has made contact. So I've got my frosting on there. In fact, I'm just going to lift it up just for a second. Yeah, I've got glue on there, so I'm hoping that should be alright. So I'm just going to move that now off to the side to dry, and shake my bit of cardstock, and I think I'll carry on using the white piece of cardstock actually. Right, so the next thing I need to do is glue my two pieces of Dollar Tree foam together. Now, I'm always saying I use Dollar Tree foam board because it doesn't stretch in the way that foam does. You know, I hear people say, oh, you know, I spent ages making a shaker and I've got half an inch of, you know, thick white foam hanging out. Well, Dollar Tree foam board doesn't stretch as much as that, and as you can see, it's kind of a solid piece. So I need to quickly match those up. Slide them into position and press. And of course, it's really important to have this part of your frame dry before you start adding all your shaker bits, otherwise they get glued on the inside edge of your shaker. So that's something that you have to watch for. Just make sure your glue is nice and dry. And I like to do my frame and then stick it to my base. So the next piece to go onto here now is going to be the acetate. So once again, I try to get as close to the edge as possible, because when you put in something that's slick surface down, your glue can, you know, squeeze to the inside area, which is where you're going to put all your sprinkles, and you don't really want to see a bunch of dried glue, although you may see a bit on mine because I'm pretty sure I've got some stuck to my fingers. But I'm just getting the fluff off. Right, so here it is. I can see it's the right way around because that's where I cut the handles off. So now we just need to position that onto there. Gentle touch, and then just hope that your glue isn't going to squeeze out. Right, I think that's okay. I've got a bit of fluff on it, but when it's dry, you know, I can always get that. So the next bit that goes on top now to make it look pretty is your finishing frame, and that will go straight onto there. And I hope I haven't slid out of camera. So to do this, I'm going to all the way around the edge again. I'm being nice and quiet because I'm trying to concentrate. There we go. And now I'm going to get my frame and I'm going to pop it on there. I'm going to pick it up towards myself. Try and slide it. Don't worry if you've got a little bit of acetate sticking out, that's no big deal. You can, if it's excessive, just go around the edge with your scissors afterwards. Right, I'm going to wait that for a couple of minutes and I'll be right back to finish off. Right, so I waited it. It's still a little bit damp, so I'm just going to put it off to the side just for a little while to dry, and we'll get on with the rest. Right, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to glue our pink down into our cup. And all you need to do to make sure that you've got that accurate is to ensure that you've got an even border all the way around. So I'm just putting down dots of glue. You want just enough glue that anything small that you put into your shaker isn't gonna, you know, seep and get caught under the sides. And I think that will do me. And put the lid in. There we go. Right, so I can't actually see, so I'm going to pick it up towards me in a minute, but I'm looking for an even border where all that stitching is. I think that needs to come up slightly. There, I'm going to commit to that. So, but you don't have to do this as a shaker. You can see just like this, just how pretty it is. I mean, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I've got a little bit of glue stuck underneath. Isn't that pretty? I just absolutely love that. I just love the detail. And if you're using a textured paper, I'm using basil cardstock from Joanne. Just always, you know, hoard it in the sale. That's what I say. So that's our base there. And then next up is going to be the candy cane, which is really easy. And you're just going to dot your glue once again onto here. Just get some good anchor points, which is usually the corners, and I'll just dot up the centre. There. And then of course you've got to get it lined up. So once again I'm just going to pick it up towards me and slide it while you have a few minutes and just squeeze it. So there's our pretty little pink candy cane. Right, so the next thing is putting your shaker mix inside. Just grab that. I'm just going to cap off my glue once again. I seem to spend more time capping off glue nowadays. Right, so I want these beautiful pastel snowflakes in mine. But I still want to be able to see the design that's going on. So although I'm putting some in there, I'm trying really hard, truly I am, not to get carried away, which is really difficult. I'll go for another pinch. There we go. Now I'll behave myself. Oh dearie me. Right, so I've got that, and I'm wondering if I want my candy cane, I'm just going to have it rested, I think, and then tucked under. Ooh, decisions. No, I'm just going to have it, because really I should have just poked it into the cream, but I'm just going to have it resting on the top. That's what I'm going to do. Right, so the next thing we need is we need to put the frame down. Now, of course, the frame will be static. If you can see that, there's like little fragments of dust that it likes to grab. So I'm getting my glue down. Always make sure that you've got your shaker mix in the center of your project, so that it's not, you know, sticking to the edges. Right, now here goes. Right, I just need to weight that and I'll be right back. Alright, so that was weighted, and you can see I think I put just enough shaky bits in there. I'm not going to shake it yet until I've finished it, just in case I've got some damp glue on the edges, but I just wanted to show you just how pretty that is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Right, next thing I need to do is pop the cream on, and I'm going to have my candy cane at a jaunty angle, I think. So I'm putting some glue along the top edge of my frame here, and then I'll decide how far down I want to go with that cream. So I'm just going to pick this up. Hope you can see, and I'm going to go there. Right, I'm going to hold that for a second and I'll be back. Right, so that's done, and next up we're going to put the candy cane on. Now I want mine at a jaunty angle, just like that on the top. Now this will then all be ready to be mounted onto a card if you want to, or you could use it as a really pretty tag on a bag, on a gift bag. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to have to hold that because it's wibbly wobbly. Right, and so there we have it. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love that. And just to make you seasick, there you go. It absolutely does shake. Like I said, all ready to go on a card. It could go on a card similar to these that we made yesterday. So this is what was yesterday, and this is what's in that set, and this is what we've done today. Just really pretty. And as I said, these are going in my forever box now, so I'll be keeping hold of those. I certainly will. So I thank you so much for joining me today. Of course, everything is linked below. I will link these as well. Now tomorrow I'm up with more Panalisa, and there was a request to see the bear hug frame and also that little closet. Well, it looks like a set of shelves with a little bottom drawer that could be perfect for doing as a Christmas card. So I'll be up tomorrow with those. You have an absolutely awesome day. Once again, thanks so much for joining me. Bye.